Hello, my name is Michael. In the previous episode, we learned that God answers all prayers. He responds from a father's perspective, giving us the best. The best may not be what we initially wanted, but in time we'll look back and be thankful that he answered the way he did. Today, let's look into how we can pray in a way that results in God giving exactly what we asked for. We'll anchor this discussion on Jeremiah 1:5. God says to the prophet, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." This is a deep scripture. I won't dwell on it here. Hopefully one of my colleagues will expand on it someday. But how does this relate to prayer? It's simple. Just like Jeremiah, you were sent into this world by God for a purpose. Everything needed to fulfill that purpose is of great interest to God. This ties into the Lord's Prayer in Matthew 6:10. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. What does God's kingdom mean here? It means his rulership over your heart, mind, and soul, that you are guided by his word and are an expression of his will. Within that context, your desires become aligned with his will. This affects how you pray and what you pray for. Back to Jeremiah, God has an assignment for your life, but you are unaware of it at birth. Most of our parents, bless their sincere hearts, raise us to fit the world system, not to discover God's purpose for us. As a result, many of our prayers are driven by wrong motives, just as James 4:3 says, "When you ask, you do not receive, because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures." How do we acquire wrong motives? By being trained outside of God's will. Even in many Christian homes, this is the case. So many of our prayers end up outside God's will for our lives. But what happens when you pray according to his will? For in John 5:14 says, "This is the confidence we have in approaching God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us." If you want God to answer your prayers exactly as you prayed them, your request must align with his will. Just to clarify, God's will isn't limited to being a prophet or pastor. It could be serving in a soup kitchen, being a doctor, or a politician. God's will is not limited to the fivefold ministry. This means you must seek God to identify your assignment, his will for your life. Once you know that, you'll enter a lifelong cycle of discovering his will, praying his will, and living in his will. Let me close with an example. Say God's purpose for you is to be a good mother or father, to raise your children in a godly manner. That's a blueprint of his will. You'll face needs, challenges, and growth milestones. And at every turn, you'll need to pray for guidance. Those prayers align with his will. You're praying for something he already wants, for your child to grow in his grace. But you'll still need to ask for specifics, and he'll guide you. In summary, if you want God to answer your specific prayer, find his will and pray within it. Until next time, take care.